I try to remind myself constantly that this moment is enough. I don't need to be anywhere. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to become anything other than I am at this very moment in time, at this very place that I am in this very instant. That's it. It's enough. There's a Zen story about these two aspiring monks who go to visit a wise master. And they said, "Can you teach us the secret of Zen?" And he says, "Sure." He says, "But first I need you to, muck the stables, let the animals out, till the garden." He has them do all these farm chores. And so they do it. The sun is coming up. They spend hours out in the fields working. And then finally they come up to the master and they go, "Okay, what is the secret to Zen?" He just shows them what they've just done. He shows them the farm. The secret to Zen was being present, was doing the work. As they say, chop wood, carry water. I'm here at the beach right now. I watched the sun come up. I went for a run. I played in the sand with my kids. That is, in a sense, Stoic philosophy. That is stillness. Ataraxia, as the Stoics talk about it, apatheia, freedom from being disturbed by the passions, being actually present and there, experiencing life as it happens. I'm Ryan Holiday. I've written now 10 books about Stoic philosophy. I even wrote a book about stillness called Stillness is the Key. But I've spoken about this exact concept to everyone from NBA teams to the owners of the NFL to special forces and sitting senators, because stillness is the place where good work comes from, but also where happiness comes from, where insights and wisdom come from. And to me, when I think about all the happiest moments in my life, that's what they're defined by: moments of stillness and connection and presence. So in today's episode, I want to talk about how we get there, how we get to presence, how we get to stillness. And stillness is a word that comes up in the Stoics over and over and over again. Marcus Aurelius uses it almost 10 times in Meditations. You deserve more of that in your life. That is what life is about. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about stillness, strategies for getting it, strategies for keeping it, and strategies for enjoying it as you have it. You have to get up early, even though you don't want to. Marcus Aurelius says, "What were you made to stay under the covers and be warm? No, you were put on this planet to do something." Dante says, "Under the blankets is no way to fame." You get up early and you do something. You go for a run. You write in your journal. You sit quietly and watch the sunrise. You meditate. I don't care what you do, but a Stoic gets up early. They own the morning, because owning the morning is a critical part of owning the day. Joseph Heller is at a party with Kurt Vonnegut at the house of this billionaire, and Vonnegut's like sort of needling him, and he's like, "You wrote Catch-22, but this guy made more money than you will ever make in your life, like at work this week." And Heller goes, "But I have something he'll never have." And he says, "What's that?" And he says, "The notion that I have enough." I think we are all deep down very scared that if we ever say that word, that's the moment we become complacent and the guy behind us passes us. And in a way, it is like if you're running a race and you're like, "Oh, this is fast enough," that's when you get passed. So there is that element of it, but at the same time, you're not allowed to be happy with the fact that you wrote one generational defining classic novel that helped millions of people and defined what that experience was for, again, a whole generation. And it's like, maybe I won't ever write a book as good as Ego or Obstacle. Maybe they won't sell as many copies. Like, that's not going to prevent me from continuing to write. What I want to do is love the process. Like, I want to love sitting down and starting the next one. Why are we in such a hurry? I was just on this walk with my kids on our farm, and I kept saying, "Hurry up, come on, let's go." And then it struck me, like, what are we hurrying towards? The worst case scenario, I'm hurrying towards death. And the best case scenario, I'm just hurrying towards the end of the walk, or the end of their childhood, or the end of this sort of wonderful day we're having. So the Stoics would say, why are you in such a hurry? Like, the present moment is what you have for certain right now. It's enough. Enjoy it, right? Why are you in such a hurry? Why are you rushing away from this? Why are you rushing through this? Seneca would say, death is not in the future, death is now. As you rush through something, he says, the time that passes belongs to death. So slow down. Be here, like, be present for it. It's enough. You don't need to rush through right now. Right now is wonderful. The Stoics talk about poverty being not just a thing about your finances, but about needing, desiring, wishing, hoping, fearing that you are anything but what you are at this very instant, to become present, to lock in. That's the key to everything to me. That's what stillness is about. And that's really what happiness is too. When I'm really busy, when I'm not in my sort of ideal environment, when I'm not at home, when I'm not totally in control of my schedule, I can feel this sort of anxiety creeping up that I have so much I have to do and that I'm running out of time. And one of the practices that I try to do, that I've tried to work on today, is this reminder that what I have in front of me is what I have to be doing. I don't have to do this and my normal things. That's the anxiety or the burden that I sort of wrongly pick up. I go, I have to do these interviews, I have to do this talk, but I also have to get back to inbox 0, right? I also have to respond to this. I also have to see what these alerts have prompted me to do. And this is untrue. I get emails from people like you all the time. It's quite nice. I don't always respond in time. What I do is I mark them and I come back to them when I do have time. And what I find when I reply is people go, oh, I never thought you would get back to me. And so I realized that any anxiety that I felt about not responding fast enough was not from them. This is a projection that I brought to the occasion. And so you find so many of the things that we feel worried about, whether it's being late or whether it's not being totally caught up or not being perfect or not doing everything the way that we think. These are burdens that we voluntarily assumed. And if instead we can be present, if we can empty the mind, if we can just focus on the task in front of us, we'll do better, we'll be more present, we'll be able to be more grateful, we'll enjoy what we're doing. Some people think that Marcus Aurelius is depressing. I think this is totally wrong. You can't read Meditations and not see all the beautiful observations he makes about the world. He talks about the flecks of foam on a boar's mouth. He even talks about how you look at a piece of bread and it cracks open at the top and nobody quite knows why this happens. He talks about the stalks of grain bending low. He talks about how ripe fruit falls from the tree. He had a poet's eye. He saw all this beauty in the world. And whenever I go on my walks, I go on a walk every single day, that's what I'm looking for. I want to see the little things. I want to see the cat footprints on the hood of a car. I want to see, in New York City, I want to see the steam coming out of the sewer. I want to see the deer running through the fields. I want to see the beauty of the world. I want to take a moment and observe it and soak it in. And this washes away the petty concerns and frustrations and bitterness and all the things we accumulate in life. Marcus Aurelius talks about washing away the dust of earthly life, going outside, observing nature, looking for the good, the beauty in the mundane. This is a way to do that, and you have to do it every single day. It will make your life better, I promise. People wake up and what's the first thing they do? They check their text messages, they check their email. They basically make themselves an item on someone else's to-do list. The quality of their day is determined about what so-and-so tweeted or what message came in or what the latest breaking piece of news is. And that's no way to live. Marcus Aurelius says you have to stop this. You have to stop being jerked around like a puppet. You have to slow down. You want to be in control of your morning. You want to be in control of the inputs that are coming into you. You don't want to be starting the day from behind. You don't want to be starting from this place of freneticness. You want to be in control. So I think it's really important that you start the morning off right, that you start your day off right, and that you don't let things coming in determine the quality of your day, the quality of your life. It's funny, the biggest book project I ever sold, I wasn't trying to think of my next project. I wasn't trying to make money. I was actually on a hike with my family, with my kids. I had one in a backpack. My wife was holding the other. We were outside. We were out in nature. I wasn't thinking about work at all. And suddenly the idea for my next series, actually a series of 4 books, popped into my head. And I've been working on that now for 2 years. It was lucrative, but more than that, it was creatively fulfilling and challenging. It's all these things. And that came because I took a few moments of stillness. I decided to go on the hike. I put work aside, and as it happened, work popped into my head. I'm out looking at the sunset on my farm, and you can hear the frogs and all of this. It's moments like this, when you're actually not working, when you're consciously not thinking, that sometimes your best work, your best ideas pop into your head. That was true for the Stoics, true for the great artists of all time, and it's true for you and I and normal people. You gotta have time for stillness and reflection and peace. Seneca talks about taking wandering walks, about giving the mind over to relaxation. It's more important than you think, and in fact, it may be where the biggest breakthrough of your life comes from. If you wanna learn more about Stoic philosophy, totally for free, you can sign up for a daily Stoic email. It's one free email every morning, the best of Stoic wisdom, dailystoic.com/email.